Hi, my name's Eve Allen. I've got a daughter, Molly, who's 7 years old, and she has ichthyosis. Molly was 6 months old when she got diagnosed, so 6.5 years. Quite hard for Molly. Ichthyosis is a condition that is quite visible on the skin. Ichthyosis stands for fish scales, so from her head to her face, all over her body. It's very dry and will flake off, so if she takes her clothes off, it's like snow's coming down. She constantly itches. She has no thermostat in her body, so if she gets hot, she just gets redder. She doesn't sweat, so her skin can get really red and hot. The skin regime is massive for Molly, but she tends not to do it at school because of other children and feeling different. So we try and manage that more as a morning regime, putting thick emollients on her skin. We do have creams at school if she needs to pop those on, but there's no real safe space for that to happen. So she tends not to. And then we do the regime when she gets home, baths and creams in the bath, and then wraps and emollients before she goes to bed. On a very bad day for Molly, I guess it may be thinking about her when seasons change. So when the weather changes, her skin changes with that. So it can be really uncomfortable for her. Another time that's really hard is with ichthyosis. It sometimes should be better in the sun. However, the sun can then also impact on the heat. So she gets hotter and really, really uncomfortable. And when that happens, people do look at us because she gets so red that they think she's sunburnt. Physically, there's been, for Molly, with the skin, and emotionally quite a difficult time for her. She's very resilient, and because she was diagnosed at 6 months of age, she hasn't really known anything different. Physically, there's been quite a lot of respiratory difficulties that's come alongside of that. So they feel that what's happening on the outside of her skin is happening inside. Now she's 7, it seems that we've found a place that physically she seems okay. Mentally, the impact of it has been quite a journey for Molly. For her, she's got 2 older siblings, so she sees them not having to do the same regime that we have to do. We have points where she says, can I just leave it for tonight? And as a parent, it's really important to focus on where your child is at in the sense of their personality and their needs and building on their resilience and their capacity. And I knew when she was diagnosed, this was going to be a condition that was really visible. So for her, it was about making sure that she had coping mechanisms in place for her to manage that, which is hard as a parent because you feel quite powerless in supporting her through that. What I would say for any parent is just keep that dialogue with your child about how they're feeling, pushing where you know you can build on their self-esteem, so finding their assets. She knows that she's different and she says people stare and look, but we have the conversations about explaining to people about the condition she has. And we go to the Ichthyosis support network once a year where she meets other young people in her position or worse or less severe than her skin condition. So yeah, she's able to meet other people in the same position, which is great. Really hard for me at the beginning. I had never ever heard of ichthyosis. I'm a children's nurse myself, so that was really hard. Family members would go, oh, she'll grow out of it. But the thing is, she won't grow out of it, and it's a genetic condition. It still is quite tough when it's so visible all the time, and you know as she gets older that that might become more intrinsic as she becomes an adolescent, that she becomes more aware of her physical appearance. There's times when, for me as a parent, I can struggle with my own mental health for the worry for your child. And most parents would say, I'd take it away. And I would, if I could. I might get to it for that. Didn't expect that. When Molly has flare-ups, it can affect you as a parent. You feel powerless and you want to take that pain away, you want to take all the emotion away for her. And it's hard as parents as well, because there could be conflicts in ways you want to treat your child with your husband or your wife. And it's trying to become as a partnership about the best way to manage that. There was a time when I first thought, okay, we need to take this a step further in supporting Molly. My older daughter, she's only 2 years difference, but Molly sat on her bed and she asked Molly to get off her bed. And she was like, oh, why do you want me to do that? And she said, because your skin's flaking on my bed. But it wasn't done in not being unkind, but she just didn't want the skin setting on her bed. And that's the time when I thought as a parent, okay, we need to address this as a family. It's, you know, you can't just treat it in isolation. When Molly's skin does flare up, it's quite hard with ichthyosis because her skin is always at a flare-up, really. There's no downtime. And when she has bad moments of ichthyosis, she can feel a bit low in herself. But for her, it's really important to have a support network. So when we go to the Ichthyosis conference annually, that supports her because she's finding other young people in the same position. And that's the same, I think, throughout life. With mental health difficulties, if you're finding other people in the same position, it helps you, and it helps parents as well to talk to other parents. With Molly's skin condition, she does get various comments around people being positive. In the sense that when people say to me who've known Molly since she was 6 months old or since she was a toddler, we don't see it. People don't see it because she's so bubbly, so outwards that they don't see it. But other people who don't know her will see it. For her, it's school. School's the point where you feel a bit unconfident at times, and there's been situations where she's been bullied, or when she's playing rugby that younger people or older people have commented on her skin. The thing is, we have such an open relationship that she is able to say that's happened, and then we discuss it, we talk to an adult who's involved with that situation, and it quickly goes away. But the confidence is about other people, not about her. It's about how other people impact on that. There are ups and downs for her, and she becomes more confident when she feels good about herself inside. And I think that's the most important thing for Molly to realise as she gets older, that it's her, it's important for her how she feels, that her activity in sports really, really releases those good endorphins in the brain. So she's being really active, and that's where she feels confident. One piece of advice for someone to feel confident in their skin is just believe in you as you inside. We can't take away what's happening outside, and we can treat and we can manage as much as we can, but just believe that you have the right to be happy. You can just be yourself in the safety, knowing that you are loved.